to start off, here's a video that some people have been asking for, and I've been intending to do for a while, showing all these guys off. All 6 of them. And so, before I do this, I'm going to kind of go into a little talk here. This was a pretty old project that, well, I made Thomas before, but I never exactly finished him, but he was mainly finished, and Edward I kind of started on, but didn't do much. The paint schemes were like a really dark blue with white and black lining, and although I did like it, it just, I don't know, I didn't feel like Thomas too much, so I kind of stopped doing it. And I did this around like last October, so quite a while ago I started on this, but never did the rest, but I did have plans to do them. But, well, of course it has been a while now, but I've been working on these for a bit and just put off this video for a while. But the Unlucky Tug made his Tugs trains, and that really inspired me to get back into making my AU project. So, really, and also his models are amazing. You should check them out if you haven't seen them. But yeah, that's really what kicked off me wanting to make these again and finish my project. And I ended up doing it in a different style, you see. Kind of lighter colors than what I originally intended to do, which was pretty dark colors. So, with that, I'll start off. Let's start with Thomas. So, for Thomas, it was the first one I made for my original AU engines, and my finished and next AU engines, which is this. So, I'm going to talk about the livery. 1, you got his running board. I really do like the look of black running boards, because you see them on like real life steam engine customs I do, and just in general, they have black running boards most of the time. And although I didn't mind the gray, I just really think that's something I wanted to do. And I also did the red side rods, because I always liked the look of those, so I thought I might as well do it. And I put a little one on the front to kind of keep it into detail, you could say, because like I've been saying, a lot of real engines have that kind of thing. And the little like nub on top of his face in front of the funnel, that's meant for the lamp codes, which that's something I've been wanting to do. And although I did add one on the back, you see, but I probably won't keep doing those because they're hard to do, and I probably won't even need them because I just plan on like making a little bit of paper for the lamp, so nothing too big. And well, for another thing, I kept Thomas to look like an E2, kind of. Like, you see, I added the pipe on the side of the boiler and the curve in the back. Like, something I do with the engines, something I wanted to do, I want them to be imagined as a real-life shape, not like the TVS, or TV series. I like the look of them in real life a lot more. Like, honestly, I do like the shape of the E2s. They sure didn't work well, but I just love how they look with like the slope in the back, the extended side tanks, so that's what I wanted to do for Thomas. And the third thing, the NW on the back. Of course, that stands for the Northwestern Railway, but something I really like is how it could have standed for nowhere, which I probably won't go back but that's just something I kind of picked up over time. And you got the little builder's plate. I've been doing that a lot recently. And to finish it off, I also did some weathering. Although this is the first one that I really tried to weather decently, so it's not the best, but it does get better over time, I think. So, with that is really it for Thomas's design. Or no, one final thing. You also see on his wheels, there's like a black rim around. I was maybe considering doing the white walls on the wheels, but no, I didn't really for that. I think it would have not looked too well with the colors. So, I ended up doing the black wheels around. So, with that, we can go to the next one. For Edward, he was the third engine I made. I really wanted to get to Henry, so I made him first. I was working on Edward alongside Henry, so just Henry's production went a lot faster than Edward's. But for Edward, not much work was done, like barely any. One, you got the little blue thing on the bottom. I just brought that out with cardboard, and, well, the little bump on the wheel arches. In the original design, I ended up bringing them up more, but like making them bigger, but I ended up just getting rid of that. And as well as on the cab, I gave him like the K2 look with the like kind of curve one, not just the Northeastern, I think they're called. Yeah. And for the tender, I just ended up sticking with the Fowler one. Although I maybe would have just gone for the normal tender look. Like, I did this with James as well, so I might have based them off like what their tenders would look like, but nah, I just ended up doing the Fowler. But, same stuff for Thomas. I kept the black running board, the number on the front, the NW is on the cab, same as the builder's plate. The windows are yellow, number 2 on the back, a little red on the bottom, although I'm not sure if I should have put the red there. I think it's like, I gotta look at more photos. I think I did that wrong, so if I did, whoops. Yeah, but not much to say about Edward, and, well, this is a bit of a short one. So, because not much work was really done with Edward, just the paint, the blue, red lines, all that. So with that, let's get to one of my favorites. Henry is one that I'm most proud of, as the most work went into his shape, and I am so happy with it. I really wanted him to have the standing your black 5 look, and I think I got as close to that as I could, because the shaping, so much was done with it. One, I had to cut off the top of the boiler, because I completely just made it slant up, although it isn't very noticeable, but I'm very happy with the result. As well as I moved the dome and little top feedback, as well as extended the firebox out with like just some shaping and stuff. You also got the whistle and the little safety valve, which those I think are nice little details I added. As for the smoke box, I extended that forward a bit with a little nub on the top for the lamp codes, just with some paper and cardboard for the extension. Now the running board was another big part, as I literally just cut the middle section off, and well, on the little front bit, I raised it with cardboard, as well as like making sure that Henry's little, smoke box could sit in the little saddle bit. And yeah, I really just glued it together, put some paper on with a lot of work. Just had to cut down the wheel arches on the side, because something I don't get actually is in the TV series, of course, like when he's a black 5, he still has the wheel arches, which to be honest, I never really liked that. But yeah, I do love the look of the black 5s. They're definitely one of my favorite LMS classes. And as well as on the tender and kind of back portion, you have a little cab overhang, just a little bit, not too much. And the tender, it was pretty simple. I just kind of cut the top down a bit, made it curve in with cardboard. On the back, I cut that down as well, and just covered that with some paper. And added a little lamp coat on the back, which I may remove. And final thing is, with extending the running board, I could bring the pistons up, which does make them look kind of bigger, and I really do like that. As for the livery, same thing for Thomas and Edward, but green. You got the number 3. Well, yeah, literally just change the blue to green, and that's what you get. Yeah. Just have, well, the black running board, the red on the sides. Although I don't think the black 5s have a little bit that sticks out on the bottom, so I think I did that wrong with not looking at any reference images. So, really, that's it for what I did with Henry and the state he's currently in. I don't intend on giving him any major updates, same for Thomas and Edward, but on some in the future, I think I might. So now, let's get to Gordon. Gordon is one that I am very happy with in terms of looks, but want to change how he looks, as I'm not too happy with his shape. So, to go along with it, I'll go over the shape first. One thing I want to change is the front, and how it slopes down. I want to give it the proper A3 look, A1, A3, where it slopes down as like a curve, like a little like dent in, you could say. But I was planning on doing that originally, but just thought I would skip that, which now I want to go back on. And the thing I did with like my Flying Scotsman, you got the curve in the like middle right around the first wheel arch to the very back. And something I did different than my past A3 models, for the little firebox on the back, instead of using clay to move it out, which clay is very fragile, the one I used for that, I used some paper and just cut it correctly. And as for the dome, I kept it as just the round dome and not an A3 dome. Like, I wanted to keep some of the Gordon shape. The buffers are just, well, originally they were in a very bad condition because I just got this off eBay. And I cut them out just with cardboard and gave them a little bit of a shape, being a mix of the boxy, but also the curve just with a 90-degree cut to it, not really a curve. The tender is based off the A3 corridor tenders, as I really do want to maybe give them a second tender that can be just swapped out. Because a little fact I want to do about my AU, I want to do like a little thing where they kind of go out far, you could say, and basically would need like a water tender. So I would like to give Gordon one to go along with the corridor, so it's not just a corridor tender, that I can use something with it. But the tender is one I'm actually most happy with and will not be changing. Yeah, I really do like the look. And the shape, or the paint, is the same as the past ones. Blue, black running board, red on the sides, silver buffers, number on the front, and black rims on the wheels. And the red on the coupling rods. The NW on the back, number 4, and yellow windows. So not much work done with him, but I do plan on updating him possibly in the future. Now, for the next one. James is one I'm very happy with. Like, livery looking wise, I really do like it. Although, I don't know, I might do some changes in the future with him, but overall, I don't think so. Now to go off. So I based James off his class, or what I think his class would be, or intended to be, an LNYR class 28, just with the extended bogey and stuff. So the main thing you may notice about this, I cut down the firebox quite a bit, because with them, it's quite flush with the top and sides, like it doesn't go out more, and as well as I tried making it curving at the bottom, but with the tight space, there's only so much you can do. Wheel arches, not much done to them except for the front, which I extended them for the sandboxes. Now this is something I'd change. I'd cut them back a bit, because they really don't need to be that long. Looking at them now, they really do kind of look odd, like from a side view. But I guess they're not that bad. And like Gordon, I didn't mention this, but James is the first one where I cannot add a lamp at the top. Well, I mean Gordon's the first one, but James as well. Because the funnel's just too far forward and nowhere to fit it. And let's talk about the firebox as well. Firebox. A little detail at the top is just a little safety valve, which is just a little Lego stud with cardboard on top of it, all cut down, and the whistle at the top. It also keeps the Fowler tender, like I said with Edward. And another thing is that the dome. It's the same dome, I think. Yeah, it is. Just I cut it down to where I could resize it because it was too far in the front, right? Yeah, front. And the tender, like I said, not much done to it. But now for his delivery. Very different from the other ones. You have the red, but it also has black and gold, which is kind of swapped out because you see on the shell, it has black with gold on the outside and then black like covering it. On the tender, it's gold on the inside with black on the outside, which I may update it, I'm not too sure. Yeah, if I do anything, it would be to add lining on the back tender to make it more even. But overall, I think James is my favorite in terms of delivery, running like right behind Gordon, you could say. Or maybe, yeah, I think James is my favorite. I'm not too sure at the time of this. I kind of just gotta sit down and look at him, trying to decide. For the wheels, it is just the black wheels with the red like on the coupling rods, and just two minis wheels at the front to represent the bogey. So, James is definitely the most unique, like you say. James is the red engine. Actually, one thing I plan on doing for my AU, like for Rosie, she's a different red, I'm thinking this red might be exclusive to James. Like, let's say he got like a special paint job or something. But at the same time, I'm not too sure, as I really do want to work things into my AU, but I'm just not too sure at the moment. I really gotta think. For now, I just made the models. Now, well, yeah, that's it for James. So now I can go to the final one of the 6. Last but not least, we have Percy. And, well, for Percy, it is kind of a mix of I want to change it, and at the same time I'm happy with it. Because, a few things about it. 1, something that's unique about this compared to my other 5, he doesn't use a Percy for his main base, he uses a Charlie. But, although he does have some remaining Percy parts, like the dome on the top, and the little sandbox and thing right next to his cabin under the boiler, as well as I think it's like a suspension thing above the wheel. So, a few things that are on the original Tomy Percy, I put on this. But for what I want to change is, well, something I don't want to change, he's actually like the shortest in length, like, because Percy is small, that's literally the thing about him. But how tall he is like massive compared to like Gordon and even Thomas. Like even a little taller with the saddle tank. So, although he's one of the few that can actually run, I may just get rid of that to make him lower to the ground, possibly. Because, yeah, although I am really happy with his shape, just the way he looks next to my other stuff, it's ridiculous. But I am happy with how he looks nonetheless in the end product. It's just when you put him next to other engines, you can really notice it. For what I did to Percy, one, like I said, it's a Charlie. And not too much work, but some complicated bits in it. One, the saddle tank. I removed the original, like, Charlie saddle tank that was just kind of like a box. And what I did this with a few past projects, but for the saddle tank here, I did a cardboard base. I had it wrapping around and just shaped it to be correctly, going flat on the bottom, round on the top, and put another layer over in paper to make it smoother for the final product. And of course, I glued the dome on and a little nub for the whistle, as well as the little water thing, or the water cap, I think. I don't know what they're called, but I think it's just a little disc of cardboard. And you also got the lamp iron on the front, and like I said, a few parts from the original Percy put upon Percy. Just kind of thought about that. And the pistons, they're just the original pieces to it, just kind of cut down a little. Now, that was really it for the shape. But as for the livery, it's quite similar, but yet has some differences. The main difference being no cab lining, and that the 4 lines on the boiler with no, like, kind of black, well, a little bit of black, so I'd say that's not too far off. The main thing is, in the front, you have red lining, like, not on the top, but more the front side, and you have the black on the outline between the front and the top lines, if that makes any sense. And you had no lining on the cab, but apart from that, it's just the same livery. You got the green paint, NW, 6, red on the sides, black running board, black walls on the wheels, and the red side rods, and silver buffers as well, number 6 on the front. And really, that's it for Percy. One that I'm happy with, but at the same time is one of the most that I'd like to change in the future if I do anything else with him. So now, to go over the final bits of the AU engines. And with that, that is it for all my AU engines. Well, I don't say all, because these are the main 6, but I have plans on making a lot more. Like, you know, I already made Donald and Douglas, as well as Rosie. And I also made Merlin a long time ago, but I guess, you know, he counts as an AU project, just he was made before I really considered it an AU. And, well, actually, I do plan on making some other ones, like for Thomas. I'm currently working on a Legend of the Lost Treasure, like, weathered one, with the scrapes and all that. And, yeah, the time of making this I am. As well as a Ryan. And Skiff kind of counts as one, but at the same time, not much will change about him. But yeah, a lot of work went into all of these. Like, I think Thomas is one of my favorites, like, in terms of the looks. I think Gordon's great as a tender engine, and what I wanted to go for. I think Henry is definitely my favorite in terms of what I did. James's livery looks great on him. Edward and Percy's Percy. And although I say I'm not happy with all of them, like Edward and Percy, and want to update the shapes, I am happy with all of them. I do really enjoy what I did, and I'm very happy with the end result, and glad I really got the inspiration back to do this. So thanks to Unlucky Doug for posting those videos, because really, those were a big inspiration for me to get back to working on these, and just redoing it as a whole. Because if I went to what I was doing before, I really don't think I'd be too happy with that. I'm so much more happier with how they're looking now. And yeah, really, there's not much to say, but I'll talk over some of the final small details. So, as you see, the faces. Originally, I gave them all RWS faces, but, you know, those are going to be very hard to get in, like, good quality or the right angles, so you can't really get expressions. So I ended up just sitting down one day, getting all the TVS faces I could from, like, old Discord chats, putting them in my own kind of face pack to use, and yes, I added eye color. I do like eye color a little bit, just, yeah, I basically just kind of made them in my own way, but I am happy with them, and I do think the TVS faces fit. Like, in terms of remakes, because I might do some remakes with them, like, let's say I remake a scene from maybe The Great Race, hypothetically. I would probably give it a CGI face in order to fit the scene, but I'm not too sure. It's all a thing for the future. Because these models open up a really big opportunity. Like, I want to do some remakes, possibly. And seriously, I do want to make more. Like, I actually made Annie, and I'm still working on Clarabelle. I've been quite lazy on that, I do admit. So I should get to that soon. And with Gordon, actually, I want to make him some express coaches. Probably, well, yeah, I based him off the red ones, but probably with some changes. And I want to make some trucks. Like, of course, I have a lot of gray ones, but I really want a consistent look. Yeah, but that's really all I have to say. Now, I know that people have been wondering for a bit, because I've gotten some comments about wanting to show these off, and I'm really glad to show them off. I've really been planning to ever since I finished them. It's just, I've been a bit busy. Like, I've been working on a lot of stuff, models, and just really whatever comes by. Models are something I enjoy doing so much, and I'm glad I could have improved. Like, back then, the lines were all shaky, like when I did my old AU project, but with these, I really like them. Like, in terms of livery, for most of them, I don't think I'd change much. Yeah, there's a lot I want to extend upon with these, but yeah, I don't know too much, but at the same time I do have plans. It's a bit of a mix. And so, really, to close us off, these are all 6 of the main AU models. I do intend on doing things with them, but not sure what yet. So, these are the models I made. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye!